Hey, good Sunday afternoon. Hope everybody's blessed today. Hope you feel good. Hope you're doing well. You know, I don't usually, make videos about this sort of thing. I think the last time I did this was, when Kanye West made a gospel album. It was supposed to be like a Christian album. That was like a few years ago. I really normally don't deal with this sort of thing, but there's a lot to learn here, though. You know, there's a lot to learn here. But I believe maybe people are missing it, you know, and kind of getting in the conversation and getting in the names and the who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, choosing sides, if there is a side here. Listen, man, concerning Katt Williams, I'm a fan of laughing. I'm a fan of comedy. So I just, and I've made it a mission to laugh hysterically every day. So all comedians, if they're funny, I'm down with them, right? But, in terms of this thing that's going on with Katt Williams, and I did want to address it while it's still hot, because 3 weeks from now, we'll have forgotten about it, but it will have taken so much time and conversation and energy and attention from us. I just want it to matter. All of us can attribute some very strong personal qualities that we have, right? And so it's like no one knows everything, but something. You're watching this, you have a niche, and I'm really big personally on being in your lane. I don't know everything, but I know people, okay? I know people. I know why people do the things they do. I know why people say the things they say. And I know that because I have to know it. It's my duty. It's my job to serve people. So I have to know what people need, right? That's emotionally, financially, spiritually. Some of us are put in a position where we need to know. I need to know people. I need to understand people, and I do, and people are like the back of my hand, right? Discerning people is necessary. It's a must. And I'm a person too, right? And so that same examination is constantly turned inward to understand me, so that I can get better, so that I can get what I need to be a better person for others, okay? And, and so I know how to read the room. I know what people are in need of. I know why people are doing what they're doing. Right? And I see the Katt Williams interview, and I saw a young man who went on a platform. He had no regard for the platform, and he was so anxious to tell his truth, right? So whether or not, what he was saying was correct or false, there was that anxiety of telling my story, and it overthrew everything else, right? I want you to understand the positioning of a person who just needs to tell their story. You know what I mean? To where nothing else matters. The platform doesn't matter. The other person I'm talking to doesn't matter. The people who I'm addressing don't matter. It's just, I just want to be heard. And I'm willing to throw everybody under the bus so that you can hear me, so that you can pay attention to me, right? To my experience, that is a guilty person, okay? So let's turn it inward. How many of you are lied on all the time? We can all relate to being lied on, right? No one can relate to more so than pastors and church leaders of being lied on. No one can say, anyone can say that, yeah, people lied on me. If it's true, fine. But you haven't experienced this type of smoke. But here's the thing. Do you see pastors? And I'm not talking about the less than 1% of pastors and church leaders who have things to hide and other people are keeping secrets for them. I'm talking about the strong 99% who everybody is lying on us. The 99, I represent the strong 99. And I'm going to tell you, we are not so anxious to tell other people's business, even though we know what really happened. Why? What's the difference between us, right? What's the difference between people who know what happened, who were there, and we know the true story? Why aren't we so anxious to broadcast other people's business, even when we're right? Right? There's a lack of wisdom and there's a lack of peace there. This is what you see, and this is the overarching theme of all of this. I've seen other men who maybe had a part in these dealings and these accusations, Ice Cube and, Ricky Smiley, other people. And what they said, whether they addressed it or not, they at least were at peace with the conversation. The voice fluctuation, the mannerism, it's kind of like whatever it is, it's kind of like it's whatever. I mean, here's what kind of really happened, and I'm just going to keep on living my life. But the people who are so obsessed with telling everybody your story, those are usually the guilty people, because they don't have peace. When you're guilty, or when you have something to prove, or when you just need attention, you don't have that type of peace to where it's just water under the bridge, even when you're being lied on. And so this is what I'm concentrating on. People who are actually lied on for major reasons, not in terms of who got the part or how the conversation went. That's all trivia. Who cares? It has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. But what everybody can relate to is people lying on you, right? And some of us much more so than others. There's a reason why people have come through my life, people have come through my ministry, have raised hell the entire time, have burned bridges, have messed people over, have lied and mistreated people. And I don't get on Facebook and listen, and I don't have anything bad to say about those people. And I won't do it. And if you ask me about these people, I'm going to suggest that you tell them, that you talk to them, knowing they're going to lie on me. Why do I do that? Because I have peace. I don't need to tell my narrative, right? I wish the best for them in spite of how they acted, and in spite of knowing that they're going to lie about me and knowing what they're going to say. I'm at peace because I know who I am, right? You're observing a man who doesn't know who he is, and he needs validation. He needs attention. He's attention seeking, right? Yes, Al. Just literally lacks maturity, right? Maturity, it comes with an identity. It's kind of like, you either know me or you're not, but if you know me, you know what I'm capable of. And I don't have to go and broadcast and tell everybody my side of the story and be the good guy. Because everybody's the good guy. Everybody's going to act like they're changing the world, and it's our responsibility to say what really happened. It has nothing to do with the world being a better place. You just want to say your part before other people say what actually happened. But guess what? These mature people, it's water under the bridge. We're fine. We're good. I don't need to tell the truth about how you were messy. I don't need to. I still love you. I want the best for you. Right? If a person is going to know about you, they're going to learn who you are on their own. And so I'm not going to throw you under the bus. Why would I? That's not my job, is to throw people under the bus and try to make myself look better and use your name to do it and try to prove that I was right and I didn't have a hand in it, even if I was. You see what I'm saying? And so when you see what really goes on, then you know the need there. Well, the need is validation. It can be a 40-something-year-old multimillionaire and never having anyone really invested in their life to tell them how much they matter, how important they are, how capable they are, encouraging them, letting them know that who they are is okay. Most people lack that. And I'm gonna be transparent with you. I'm the perfect example because I was like Katt Williams in the first 2 years of my ministry. We're in year 5 now. First 2.5 years, I would say anything. I would say names, right? And I never lied. I never lied, but I was thunderous and I lacked maturity. I lacked compunction. I had something to prove, right? There are people, many of us, we've been looked over, right? We've been underestimated. People looked over us. They said we would never do anything. They treated us some type of way. And then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, you're in your bag, you're in your element, right? And you're doing what you do, and you're good at it, and you're flourishing because of it, right? And often we want to let somebody know, right? But we don't understand that it's from a place of inadequacy. It's in a place of being looked over. So now we have more to prove. Now we have more to say. And now we want everybody to hear our part because dang it, you gonna know about me. You gonna hear my name and all this other stuff, right? Lacking the compunction, lacking the peace. That was me, first 2.5 years of ministry, right? I didn't have accountability. I didn't have someone to reassure me and someone to say, hey, you might not want to do that. You don't have to do that. You can do it this way. This is a better way. You can have the same effect without dragging people under the mud. That's what a covering does. That's what a mentor does, right? A true mentor will validate you, will encourage you, will help you have identity to where you don't have stuff to prove, right? You have a confidence in your identity. Okay? So that was me. And I never lied. This is what happens when you know a lot. But at some point, maturity should come with great knowledge. And I'm just talking about knowledge. I'm not even addressing wisdom. We're talking about comedians going back and forth. This is about minor details of life. I'm talking about true knowledge. Even when you have true knowledge, wisdom tells you what to share and what not to share. I could throw so many people under the bus that put their mouth on me. I have that knowledge. I know what they did. I know why they did it. I know why they do it. I know why they will continue to do it. My prayer is that they will get what I have so that they can have peace. And many of them were sent to me to get that thing and they rejected it. Okay? And so now they continue on lying and having something to prove. The reason is lack of identity, lack of validation, still having a chip on your shoulder and still having something to prove. Right? And so the ones who say, yeah, he's just a cry out for help. Yeah, he's bleeding all over everybody. He's wounded and he gets on a show and he bleeds all over everybody. Just a bloody mess. Anybody's name who you bring up, if they're not in his circle, then he bleeds on them. Right? Just blood splattering everybody. Everybody's under the table. Nobody is good enough until you see who I am. Everything isn't even worth your energy. Imagine, amen, Al. Imagine if we spent the time invested in trying to clear up our name even when we were right. We wouldn't have room for anything else. We wouldn't have room for our families. We wouldn't have room for our jobs. We wouldn't have room for ourselves, our wives. We wouldn't have room for anything. We'd just be running around with no peace, trying to clear our name and tell our story. If there's anything that I want you guys to get out of this is to look at a person, watch them, And in real life, in real time, beware of the people who they get around you, and the first thing they want to do is talk about somebody else and tell their side of of a story that nobody even cares about anymore. It was in the past. Why are you telling me? You're going to learn to tell these people, hey, I don't even want to hear it. You go talk to them about it if you don't have peace. Now, the problem is that many of us, we don't have peace, and so we eat that stuff up. We eat up the gossip. We think that information is useful, but it's really not, because it doesn't help anybody. And so don't be like that. The church is full of Katt Williams. People who are unvalidated, uncovered, looked over, underestimated, and they just want to talk and throw everybody under the bus so that they can be noticed. You know what you do with a person like that? You notice them. You give them what they need. You hug them. You love them. You tell them how important they are to you. You bring them under your wing if you can. You give them what they need. Then they won't do that. You give them the identity that the father didn't, because I just see a fatherless man. It's just a fatherless man who's never been fathered. It's very basic. We have plenty all around us, and they have something to prove. Okay? When these things happen, it's best, because we're going to hear about them. You can't escape it. And if you can, then I applaud you. I'm in circles to where I kind of need to, I don't want to say need to know what's going on, but I can't get away from it. But when they do happen, there is always a learning tool that won't allow you to get wrapped up in the mix or to get distracted by it. But there's something to learn that can be applied to real life. Hollywood is imploding upon itself, and it has to. If you're part of that Hollywood kingdom, if you're part of that kingdom, you become complicit to supporting it. Okay? These are people who are exposing one another. It's all unwholesome. All of it. You're only there for a few reasons. Okay? There's only a few doors into that realm. It's a whole nother community. It's a whole nother existence. It's not part of who we are. If you can see this video, then it's not part of who you are. But you become complicit when you invest in it. You do. We do. Right? You got to be careful. Amen. Amen. Now, you got to be careful what you allow to entertain you. What you eat. It's what you're eating. You're feeding on it. Right? And so when we get wrapped up in the conversations, right? If anything, take the wisdom from it, be better, because in some way it applies to you. I saw myself in Katt Williams and how he acted up, and that was atrocious. It was so messy. You have a platform that you were blessed to be part of a platform, and instead of adding to that platform, you just went in there and just vomited. He can't even get to a script and ask his questions. You were so anxious to tell your little truth. It's messy, it's rude. And I saw that, and I said, man, that could have been me. I was like that. If you see some of my early teachings, man, I was a thunderball. And some people be like, yeah, go get him, but get who? Who you getting? You need to be preaching the word. This word needs to be digestible for anyone who hears it. Not shoving people away. You know what I mean? And so I had to adopt a covering or a spiritual father to validate me so that I didn't need to do that. 90% of things that you know doesn't need to be broadcast. Everybody doesn't need to hear it. That's the maturity. It's like, what do I do with the information that I have, even if it pertains to me, right? So if anything, pray for the man. Pray that he gets some type of mentor that can validate him, right? That's what I have. That's what I was lacking. A fatherless young man whose father died when I was 2, and I have no recollection of him. I've had spiritual fathers. The Apostle Tony Pugh, the late Pastor Robert Lewis from St. James Amazani. Now Apostle Brian Pleasant from One Kingdom Ministries. I've been given spiritual fathers to give me what my father never gave me, so that I wouldn't just vomit at the mouth every time I'm given a platform. Because we're trusted in what we share with people. We really are held accountable for it. Okay? So if you want to see anything, see that. And I'm not coming hard. Listen, I'm just me. I'm not famous. Katt ain't gonna hear this video, but you'll hear it and you can apply it. You can apply it to your life and make sure that you don't have these characteristics. And you can pray for the brother. I'm praying for him. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of all these men. Anybody who makes me laugh, I'm a fan of, because I laugh hysterically multiple times a day. And if it's a vice, it's the desire to laugh, honestly. All right. So I have no problem with him. I'm just seeing what's there. I'm seeing what's there. Okay. And in real life, in real time, beware people who they get around you, and the first thing they want to do is start to tell you about somebody else who's not there to defend themselves. Red flag. A red flag. That's a person who you need to change the subject or change friends, right? Because they want to drag you into some mess and dump some stuff on you, and you wonder why some people, you see them out there. You know, you talk to them and you leave that situation, you leave that conversation all messed up and confused because they just dumped all of that mess on you. Talking about other people and wanting to throw everybody under the bus so you can get the spotlight. It happens in real life. We know Katt Williams. We know about 10 Katt Williams. Katt Williams, the pews are full of Katt Williams. They're full of them. They just need love. Right? We need to redirect them and say, hey, we're not going to have that conversation. If you have a problem with them, you go talk to them. But how can I help you? How can I help you? You know what I mean? As a brother, as a, you know, how can I help you though? What do you really need? Because we're not going to talk about this other person, right? You're not going to bring that mess to me, and I'm not going to co-sign you talking about someone in the same position as you so you can look better. And no, you're not making the world a better place because you're venting. It's not your duty to do that anyway. Okay? Right? So yeah, Kelly, I watched the interview. Absolutely. Yeah. And so yeah, man, just, you know, just to apply it to real life. That's my 2 cents, okay? We do have to watch how much we are invested in these type of things, because in the meantime, there's a lot of people dying. There's a lot of people passing away all around us. These people have families that we know. They have children that we know. They have loved ones and friends that we know. And they need our attention. They need our prayers. They need our love. They need our visits. You know, they need our cards. Things are happening that really apply to us, and we need to give more attention to these things. All right? All right, pray for your brother. Pray for your sister. Pray, and pray. And if you're part of this kingdom, this Hollywood kingdom, check out. It's going down. Okay? It's going down. It's being exposed, and we can no longer be complicit to a system that's a wicked system, and we lend our attention and our members and our life to it. We can't do that and say that we're any better. Okay? All right, I love you. I gotta hand these pies out. All right. You know, share the video. All right. Hopefully it'll bless somebody, and I hope you guys have an amazing Sunday.